Welcome back to the Polite Way Basketball. I'm Durante Polite. So excited to be back with you. I told you I wanted to get you another video this week. I did a drill of the week video earlier this week, and I was saying, hey, I want to have a conversation with our coaches on the channel who, want to hear from you about what you do when your team struggle. So before we move forward, please like, subscribe, share. Please share with young coaches. I had a young coach, to DM me the other day, just kind of asking me about some things, he has a young team, and, he is trying to get them over the hump, right? Get them experiencing some type of success. Really kind of in the same situation that I'm in. And so it was good to be able to encourage him. And so that's what I want this channel to be for. I've been doing this thing for a little while now. And so I want to, help younger coaches as much as possible, hopefully give them some things that I didn't necessarily get. And then give them some things that I did receive, because I was fortunate to have some good coaches of my youth that I can lean on when I first started out in this thing. So please like, subscribe, share. But today, like I said, we're going to talk about, like, what do you do when your teams are struggling? Please respond in the comment section, coaches. Talk about some of the things that you focus on. I know for me, I'll tell you, I did a little short video talking about Division III coaches and taking my head off to them. It's a tough job. It is, because you're not around your team as much. At the Division I level, you have a certain amount of time. We had time after the season ended, right? We give them a few weeks off, and then we get our 8 hours, or we can work with them each week. Then they take some time off, and then in the summer we have them for 8 hours a week. And then when they get back from summer session, when they go home, come back for fall, we have a certain amount of time where we get them for 8 hours a week, and then boom, we go into our 20 hours. And so, and that started a lot of times like late September, depending on what school you're at. And so, Division III, it's that hard start date of October 15th. And this year they did allow some flex days, so thank you committee for doing that, giving us some flex days. But you just don't have a lot of time with your team, even with those flex days, and so, and then as a new coach, everything is new for everyone, so shout out to those coaches who are new and they get it rolling right away. Hats off to you. But it's for a lot of people, it takes time to build. And so, we're 0-5. I was hoping we would be at least 2-3 before Thanksgiving break. I think we had the ability to be 2-3. But the things that hurt us are what we're trying to work on now, right? Though that attention to detail, being able to execute late game situations, things like that. And then I'm learning my team at the same time. So I say, when I got here, the schedule was already done. I didn't start until July 1. But when I got here, the schedule was already done. And when I'm looking at the schedule, I see this big break in between games. And I don't know about you, but for me, I love practice. And so, sometimes I think about games and I'm thinking about, man, I like the idea to be able to perform and compete, but it's, depending on the team you have, it's like that's the opportunity we miss out on practice, right? Although, you do get that live practice and you can learn from the film. So, but when I saw that break in games, I was ecstatic. And I was like, we're going to get better. So we're in that break right now. I'm like, this is when we're going to get better. We get an idea who we are in these first 5 games. And then we can dive in on the details. And I learned that that's who I am as a coach. I got to have organization, right? I tell you, it'd be hard for me to just jump in and start coaching somebody's team. I could do it, right? I could do it, like if there was an emergency situation, but I know they're not going to know the cues. They're not going to, know my language, the language that I use. So the organization piece is big, because I'm big on us being able to execute. Yeah, you need players to just make plays, but I need them to execute to be able to get in the right position to make the plays too, right? And so, and sometimes you're not blessed with a roster where you have a whole bunch of people that can just make plays, So I'm learning, but that's who I am as a coach. I need the organization. So right now we got the organization. I think we have our everything in that we're going to put in right now, and now it's all about hammering in on the details. And I'll tell you one thing: my practice plans, they've only been plans. Because there are parts of practice that I'm having to skip, because, I have, hey, let's work on this section right here, and then we're going to build and go to this section. But what I've learned is that if this section is not sturdy enough, you can't build on top of it. And so what I've been doing is just, hey, we had 10, 15 minutes playing for this. Well, we might stay on it 20, 25 minutes because we need to have a really good understanding of what we're trying to accomplish with that. And I don't want to be terrible at this and terrible at that. So let's try to be good, really good at this. And then hopefully we can build our way onto the next thing. So that's one thing that I've really been doing. When I took over a program years ago at Lincoln College, they were good. They were JUCO going to an NAIA program. So going from 2-year to 4-year, they were good before I came. They lost some people, but still had enough there. But we had some injuries that we were dealing with early on. And then probably our most talented player, wasn't available the first half of the season. So, we struggled early, but I sought to stay really positive with my leaders. I sought to keep them, really try to focus on keeping them together. And then hopefully, I was like, hey, I know we lost tonight. And I'm not in for more victories, but I'm like, hey, but do you feel us getting better? And, my leaders were like, yeah, we get. So I felt like my level of positivity wasn't necessarily delusion, right? That I had some people that were believing that with me. They were feeling it with me. And when I'm not around, they're giving that same positive message. So really focused on staying, solid with my leaders. And that's what I'm trying to do now, staying solid, close with my leaders, and kind of going from there. And then this weekend, we're going to do some team building stuff, some team bonding type stuff that we didn't get to do before the season started. So we're going to have some food and some fun and fellowship this weekend. So that's where I'm at. I'm diving in on the details, being, very, you want to always be communicative with your leaders, but really just staying in my leader's ear, so to make sure that we have the same message, and then seeing where they are, hoping they're feeling how we're improving. And then that team bonding piece, giving us a chance to be around each other off the court. Of course, you want your team to do that, but sometimes you got to create the atmosphere for that to happen. So I'm excited about that, and we're gonna push forward. I haven't given up on this team. Nick Saban, one thing he said, you don't focus on winning the championship. You focus on what it takes to win the championship. And so I'm very process oriented. And we have one of our core values is determination, and our little phrase for that is eyes on the prize, mind on the process, right? And so sometimes the prize seems so far away. You gotta focus on the prize. Okay, I'm gonna keep my head down. I'm gonna do this day, and I'm gonna do this day. I'm gonna do this day. Look up. Oh, I'm a little bit closer. Okay, put my head back down. But then sometimes the process is so hard, right? That you gotta look up at the prize to be able to get through the process, because it's like, man, this is hard. But I want to get there, and I really want that. And so I'm going to make it through this arduous process. And so that's kind of our message to the team and what we're on. And we know, like, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And, my hope is when I started, everything was like, whoever we play after this break, it's going to be a tough one for them. Like, that's been the goal. And so yeah, coaches, tell me, what do you do? What do you focus on? What are some of the things that you've done to kind of, help lift your team's confidence, or, get them out of whatever struggle that they're going through? Please let me know. Respond in the chat. And remember, share this stuff and hit me up. If you're a young coach out there, I pride myself on being very accessible. So hit me up. If you have questions, if you want to run something by me, don't be afraid to hit me up. I'm the type that I'll send the email to coaches, right? And so some respond, some don't. I send them out because I want people to respond. And so, so I try to be the same way. So if you're a young coach out there and you have something that you want to run by, or whatever it is, I'll do whatever I can to help. But again, like, subscribe, share the Polite Way Basketball. I put up have a couple drill of the weeks up. I've had a few play of the weeks. Hopefully I get another play of the week up this weekend. But if not, charge it to my head, not my heart, or charge it to my body, because I'm tired, I'm very busy, and I'm in the middle of the season. But hope all is well. Until next time, the Playbook Basketball, Durante Polite. Take care.